So I am heading to Barbados for my honeymoon, and I feel like this trip has a lot of downtime because we are just always going on excursions. We are always doing something every single day. This vacation, more of a relaxed vibe. So I'm gonna bring you with me and see how much I read. I usually read a lot during flights because I just don't really sleep on planes. I'm gonna take you along with me during the week and see how much I can read and do a little weekly reading vlog in Barbados. Day 2 on our honeymoon and we are getting ready to go. I'm going to put my makeup on and talk to you about what I read on the plane trip here. I didn't read that much actually because I wasn't feeling that well, so I kind of slept for most of the flight, which was kind of interesting because I usually don't sleep during plane rides, but I got some sleep in and I read a few pages of Crescent City. I got to page 342. Crescent City is about a girl named Bryce who is half fae, half human. She is living with her human side because her dad didn't really want anything to do with her. And she has a brother named Rune who is full fae, but they don't really get along. They had one really big fight in the past and they don't really like each other anymore. But that's slowly becoming, past tense because they are working together to find this horn that got stolen. And one night, Bryce came home from a party and her best friend and the guy that she was hooking up with died, completely ripped apart by a demon, and they don't know who did it, and basically ruined her. And this guy Althazar is trying to figure out who killed her friends and also who stole this horn because they believe that it is the same person. So that's basically where I'm at right now. And there's a lot of world building in this one where I feel like I'm comparing it to ACOTAR, and I feel like in ACOTAR we were kind of learning the world with the main character, where this one we're playing catch up because the main character already knows the world she's living in and all of the fantasy aspects of it. So we're kind of playing catch up, which is always difficult for me just because it feels like a game of catch up. I'm studying and I'm cramming for an exam. That's kind of what it feels like. Other than that, I really love the characters. I love Althalar. I think that's his name, Althalar. He's assigned to watch Bryce, and he's our roommate right now. And they bicker, but they clearly are attracted to each other, which is a really funny dynamic to watch. And then her and her brother's relationship is also really cool. He's the protective big brother. I just love their relationship. They clearly care a lot about each other. Another book I started was Zola on my Kindle. And this is an extreme horror book that I heard is gross, which is so funny because why was I reading a known gross, gory book when I was not feeling well? But I was reading that. I'm 30% done with it. It's a pretty short book, and about a woman who is obsessed with cheese and gin. Whenever she's stressed out, she always wants to snack on cheese and drink gin. And she has a son, and the dad named his son Gordon Zola. Yeah. She is in an abusive relationship. The husband is very abusive. He's angry and violent, and she's trying to leave, but she doesn't have any money, and she doesn't really have any, and she's isolated from her family and friends, so she doesn't really have anywhere to go. So she is saving up money to get her and her son away from her abusive husband. That is what I'm reading currently. Hopefully I'll get some time to read today, but we will see. We are going to finish getting ready, and then we're gonna go explore and go on the pool area and go on the beach and just relax. We have no plans during the day today, so I'm excited to see where the day takes us. So I'm on page 402 in Crescent City, and I am so bored. I really thought it would pick up by now. I'm only 50% done. Dottie has read the book, and she said that I have to get to the 60% mark, and it picks up, but yeah, it's so boring. They're still trying to find the porn, and they think it's this lady called Sabine, which is Danica's, Bryce's best friend's mom. And they're just pulling theories to figure out if it's really her that's like causing all the ruckus. I don't know, I'm just really bored. I don't find it interesting, and the world building is a lot. Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of crazy because I've only heard good things about this book, so I really do hope it picks up really, really soon, because if I didn't know it wasn't gonna pick up, I'd probably do that bit by now. Good morning, everyone. It is day 3 on our honeymoon. And I decided that I'm going to finish Crescent City at home just because it's taking the joy out of reading while I'm on vacation, because I'm just not liking the book so far. I started A Deadly Education this morning, and I decided that Orion Lake needed to die after the second time he saved my life. Everyone loves Orion Lake. Everyone else, that is. As far as I'm concerned, he can keep his flashy combat magic to himself. I'm not joining his pack of adoring fans. I don't need help surviving the Scholomance, even if they do. Forget the hordes of monsters and cursed artifacts. I'm probably the most dangerous thing in the place. Just give me a chance and I'll level mountains and kill untold millions. Make myself the Dark Queen of the world. At least that's what the world expects. Most of the other students in here would be delighted if Orion killed me, like one more evil thing that crawled out of the drains. Sometimes I think they want me to turn the evil, which they assume I am. It certainly does. But the Scholomance isn't getting what it wants from me, and neither is Orion Lake. It may not be anyone's idea of the shining hero, but I'm going to make it out of this place alive. And I'm not going to slaughter the thousands to do it either, although I'm giving serious consideration to do just one. That's what that's about. vlog. I am on page 138 of A Deadly Education. So far it's about the main character who is a very powerful witch. Usually people can just pull their magic from like rats or like little birds or like small like creatures and stuff like that to pull their magic, but she can pull her magic from other magic people. Like she can literally take their magic source in her hands. Looked down upon because the only other people who have like that kind of powerful magic are evil people. So she's kind of hiding that. She is able to do that since she's like hiding her powers and not truly like doing everything she can do. At the same time, there's this guy named Orion who is actually very powerful, but he's not as powerful as she is. But he's always like saving her life. He's always saving people, so he's like super popular, completely the opposite of her. And she completely hates him because she's like, I know I'm more powerful than you, but I can't show off like you because then everybody would think of me as evil, you know, being. And their dynamic is so funny. It's basically like a black cat golden retriever relationship where he's just kind of like around, like, you know, and she's just like so serious. Kind of cute, the relationship, and you can tell it's kind of like an enemies to lovers situation. It's a really easy read. The writing is okay. It's easy to get through. It's not hard to read at all. So yeah, that's so far in my book, and hopefully I'll read more today. Back from my honeymoon and I'm ready to do this wrap up for this reading vlog. Started out with 5 books that I wanted to read and I ended up reading 3 of them, so I feel like that's pretty good. I started reading Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas, but it required a lot of attention because the world building is a lot in this book, and on vacation and it's just kind of hard to focus, and I think that's really what the reason was. I know I was like saying like it was boring, I was interested in it while I was in Barbados, but really I think I would have been if I was just kind of sitting at home without any other distractions of the outside world. I'm definitely going to continue it. I do love the characters in the book. It's just the world building and the story itself, like them searching for Sabine for like the last 100 pages has been rough for me. I don't know, it's just I haven't been too interested in it, but I know everybody that has read this book has told me the last half of the book is really good, so I'm still gonna read it and I'm excited to figure out what the hype is. Got to page 423, so I'm like halfway done with it now. After I stopped reading Crescent City, I started reading A Deadly Education and I ended up finishing this book in Barbados. It was such a cute read. Basically, it's about a girl it's about a school where there's no teachers and you can't leave the school unless you graduate or die. And that's why it's called A Deadly Education. What I really loved about the book is the relationship between Elle, the main character, and Orion. I think that's their names, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's their names, and a hate to lovers relationship, and they're both just so misunderstood, and they're both on the opposite sides. He is the most popular guy in school. Everybody thinks he's just so cool and powerful, and she's the absolute opposite. Kind of come together because they both can be themselves with each other, unlike how they are seen from the rest of the school. I love the dynamic between them two. I gave this book 3 stars. The only reason I didn't get rated higher is the writing wasn't my favorite. It was very repetitive. We were in the main character's mind, so it's always poor me, and if everybody knew how powerful I was, then nobody would be treating me this way, and it was like that over and over and over and over again. But other than that, yeah, it was a good book. On my Kindle, I read Zola by D.E. McCluskey. This book was disgusting. It's an extreme horror book, and it was like gag worthy. Like, it made me physically sick. Yeah, it's just the things they did with cheese. Ew. Can't even talk about it. Okay, I'm not going to talk about it. It's just really, really gross. But that was what the book was meant to do. I always have a hard time rating extreme horror books if it's disgusting like that, because it made me feel disgusting, but that was what the point of the book was. So shouldn't it be rated higher based on the fact that I thought it was disgusting because it did its job? I have no idea. I am just gonna settle at not giving it a rating and keeping it at that. I also read on my Kindle Untamed Vixen by Luna Pierce, and I loved that book. It's a romance mafia about this girl who falls in love with 3 guys. She becomes like a complete badass queen. They're all like part of the mafia, and so they do like a very dirty work, and she just becomes part of their group. That's basically what the book's about. I had a great time reading it. I gave it 3.75 stars. Last but not least, I started A Touch of Darkness after I finished Untamed Vixen. I was reading this mostly on the plane ride home. I didn't finish it. I got to page 140. The main character is Persephone, which is the goddess of spring. She accidentally makes a deal with Hades, which is the god of the dead. She is slowly discovering that the underworld and the things that she heard about Hades is not completely true. She made a deal with him, and she has to spend 6 months in the underworld and grow life in there. She is slowly discovering that not all of it is as it seems, and it's not as bad as she was taught and perceived it to be. Really loving it, loving the writing. It is such a good book to read. I can't wait to read it more, but I can't give a final rating because I'm not done with the book yet. Know how I feel about this book on a later date. Yes, that is it. Thank you so much for watching and joining me reading in Barbados. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!